we have to go get the new Barbie that's coming out. And let me tell you, in the 90s, there was a new Barbie coming out every day practically. And I know, hey everybody, it's the Doll Circle, and I love that my tall Barbie back here is just lingering in the corner staring at us. Hello Barbie, you're waving at me. And we're talking about Barbies today, and I wanted to do more of a story time with all of you, and I have gotten this question before in the past, and I have talked about it in other videos, but I haven't done a video for the doll that started the doll collection. All right, so that is what today's little story time video is going to be about, the doll that started it all. So my mom and I in the 90s were not Barbie collectors. I had dolls, I had Barbies. My mom grew up with Barbies. My mom is a little bit older. She was around during the Barbie era. You know, when Barbie first came out, she remembers in 1959 seeing the first Barbie and going, oh my gosh, I need that in my life. And she ended up getting a lot of Barbies growing up, and she had all the characters. She had Mitch, she had Skipper, obviously Ken, you know, and she loved it. So that's why I had so many Barbies growing up as well. I really loved Barbie's aesthetic. I liked that she was independent, that she had a million jobs. She's a lady that could do it all. And I really connected with that. Like growing up, I was like, I'm a girl that's gonna do it all too, you know? So I really did have that connection with Barbie, and it was pink, and I loved going down the Barbie aisle and just seeing so much pink, especially in the 80s and 90s. Barbie was pink. All right, Barbie was pink, and I loved it. That really worked for me. Obviously now my aesthetic has changed. I still love pink, but I also collect goth stuff and horror movie stuff, so very opposites. Go figure, right? One day, I remember this day very well. It was in the 90s. Someone bought me, because obviously even all through high school, I always had tons of dolls. I always had tons of Barbies. I was never like, oh, you're getting to that age, let your dolls go. I never had that conversation with my mom because my mom always liked dolls. And my brother always had stuff. You know, it was never a conversation of like letting your toys go. So I always got dolls as gifts pretty much every holiday. And I still do. I think I get more now, actually, than I ever have before. I think I get more dolls now than ever before, especially for Christmas. And I remember my family got us, like my cousins and I think it was my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins got me Tooth Fairy Barbie. I don't know why they got me this doll. It was so random, right? They got me this doll for a present. And I was like, okay, I don't know why it was weird to me. I was like, Tooth Fairy Barbie, that's kind of really random. Like I was more into like, I loved the sleepover dolls, the career dolls, you know, things like that, but they got me Tooth Fairy Barbie. And this doll is from 1994, but I got it in 1995 because, you know, when they print the dates off, it sometimes takes a couple months and then it hits the shelves. And I got it in 1995, and I remember my mom and I seeing it. I unboxed it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really love her. I don't know what it was. I've had Barbies before then. My mom had dolls before then, but for some reason, when they got me this doll, I was like, my life, I don't know, just like a light came off of this doll. And my mom was like, I really like this doll too. I know it sounds strange. And as you can see here, it is a Walmart exclusive special edition. So it was only sold at Walmart. This doll was only at Walmart. And it's just like a little simple Playline doll. I believe it was $8.96 was the original price on this one, right around. So about a $10 price point. And I was just like, I really like her. Mom's like, I really like her too. I think we should get another one. And I'm not even kidding. That was the conversation we had. And if you guys want to see, so this one I actually am borrowing from a friend. This is the doll. This is the original doll. That was the first one given to me that I unboxed that started the whole collection. Out of her package, this will turn into a mini review, has the traditional Barbie of the 90s look. I mean, the big eyes, big blue eyes, the nude color, but it's more of like a light pink lipstick, her little button earrings, the bangs. She has blonde hair in the back, and she's just quintessential Barbie. Like, this is Barbie, like the pink and the blues and the pretty and the white. Now the tights are printed on, the shoes are molded on, and that's what was rare, I would have to say, for a lot of the Barbies from the 90s. This was very much a budget doll because most Barbies had separate shoes. But yeah, like I said, it was a budget doll. And for some reason, she doesn't have the snap and bend legs. One leg is just bent like that. And I think why they did that on purpose is, as you can see in her photography in the back, she's kind of like flying. One leg is slightly bent to give that action of motion in the doll. So the doll doesn't have snap bend legs. Like, her legs are stiff. because they did have snap-band legs throughout the 90s. We didn't really get a lot of like more articulated dolls until the late 90s going into the early 2000s, and then we started seeing articulated dolls coming out. But yeah, her legs are just fixed like this, and the wings are just cardboard. They're just cardboard wings, and let me take her off her stand. The wings are literally cardboard, and you just take the cardboard and stick it in the back of her outfit. I know. It's like, it's giving me like modern day Barbie quality, because I hate to say it, modern day Barbie quality is not as good as like vintage Barbie quality, and that's what this doll is giving me. So maybe this was like a sign for the future, like Barbie's gonna have less quality. I mean, the outfit's all one piece, but we're getting different textured outfits to it, layering, lace. I mean, the color is just beautiful. So yeah, so this is the original one, the one that they gave me, and I unboxed, and then my mom and I were like, we're gonna have to get more of these. So we went, the OG doll hunting. We went to multiple Walmarts to find them in box, and we found a bunch of them. I think my mom probably has like, honestly, 3 or 4 of them, and we just really loved them. I don't know why, it just sparked a lot of joy with us. Literally within weeks, we were at Toys R Us all the time, at Walmart all the time, at every store that ever had Barbies all the time, looking for newest dolls. The people at Toys R Us ended up like recognizing us half the time. We bought doubles of everything, because my mom's an inbox collector, and I was a mix. Like, I would do some in box, but I would primarily do out of box. So I had tons of out of box dolls, so we always had to get doubles of everything. My dad hated it, because he knew if a doll was $20, he's gonna be spending $40, because we're gonna get 2 of them. And we just went crazy. We had so many dolls. My mom still has her collection. It took us a month to categorize them, and they're all listed in notebooks. And she has about, I forgot the final number, but it was between 11 and 1,200 Barbies. I am obviously a mixed doll collector. Like, I have so many different kinds of dolls, but at the end of the day, and if you've watched my channel, you know I always say I'm a Barbie girl at heart, forever a Barbie girl. I always say forever Barbie girl. And yes, I love all the other dolls, but something about Barbie and the way she looks right here, which I hate to say it, this is actually a variant one, I think, because the doll has different colored blonde hair. Because that was another thing too. We talk about like variants in modern day dolls. Barbie's had it too. There were sometimes where they would have different shades of blonde hair. And see how this one has more of like, if I can get the camera to, whitish blonde. And see how this is more of like a yellowish blonde. And it's very subtle, but it's different. And that was another reason why my mom and I would sometimes have to have triples of certain dolls, because they would have variants of the different colored hair. But yeah, we were like OG doll hunters before doll hunting was even a thing, back in the 90s. And I mean, we got obsessed. We started buying, like I said, a million dolls. We went to all the doll shows. We went to the FX Toys shows. We went to the Sarasota doll show all the time. That was one of my favorites because it was only dolls. We were subscribed to Barbie Bazaar magazine, and we would go and check all of the, because this is pre cell phone days and pre-internet days, right? And we would go to the local listings in like newspapers and see people selling their Barbie collections, and my mom and I would go and buy out Barbie collections. I mean, it was heavy. It was a lot. Like, I don't even want to know the thousands of dollars that my dad worked for to afford my mom and I to have all these Barbies. But I'm so grateful. So if he ever watches this, I'm very grateful, Dad, for you literally working so hard for us to have these Barbies and these dolls. And I still have, as you guys know, shelves and boxes of my original Barbies, and I will never let those go, because like, for example, like this doll right here, if I sold her, I would be so sad, because this was the one, like I said, that started the whole collection. It started everything going for me. It is emotional to think of, like, we had such good times going toy hunting and going on Black Friday to Toys R Us and getting all these dolls and getting obsessed over these dolls and just buying them all the time. And I mean, even to this day, my mom and dad still buy me dolls. I mean, it's such an overwhelming memory and experience, because it brought me so much joy. I probably would have a really nice sports car right now if I saved up all that money, but the dolls make me happy. And I know I've gotten that question before. It's like, you know, like, oh, how'd you start collecting dolls, da, da, da. And I've always mentioned, you know, like, oh, Tooth Fairy Barbie, and my mom and I started collecting. But I never actually sat and went into discussion mode on it. So again, why this triggered our collecting, I don't know. Why did this kick us into this Barbie obsession? I don't know. But for some reason, when I got this from my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins that year, it kicked it off. I mean, it's so weird, because even that day, I remember what I was wearing. I was wearing a navy blue dress. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why that makes me laugh. But like, I remember, it was just something about it. We were like, we need to start collecting Barbie. Like, it was just like a moment, you know? And I just, like, I don't know, something about the packaging. It says, like, hide your lost tooth in her special little pouch, because she came with a little bag and you'd put your tooth in it. And then, like, obviously the tooth fairy would come and you'd put money under the pillow, you know, the whole thing. I just thought it was so funny. And, like, I don't know, like, this pink color just brings back such happy memories, because this is the Barbie pink that you would see in all the aisles. And I love that they would use actual photography of the doll. Like, it wasn't like cartoons or anything like that. Like, this is actually someone posing the doll, taking pictures, real people in the pictures. Like, I don't know, like, this to me is, when I think nostalgic Barbie, I think 80s, 90s Barbie, and this is Barbie in her heyday. This was Barbie when Barbie was the #1 fashion doll. I mean, it does sell well, really well, but I mean, like, when there was no other competition back in the day, like, it means a lot. So that is my story time. This is the doll, like I said, that kicked off the collecting with my mom. And it just means a lot. Like, it just really means a lot that I have not only the memories with my mom and the collecting, but this doll to look at all the time on my doll shelf. And it reminds me of happy memories buying a lot of Barbies back in the day. When life was not as stressful and it was all about, we have to go get the new Barbie that's coming out. And let me tell you, in the 90s, there was a new Barbie coming out every day practically. And I know that sounds like overreacting. No. That's why when we like talk about like now, like there's so many dolls coming out, it was that way before, but it was all Barbie and it was all this pink box. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my rant / doll discussion / doll chat, doll time, story time, I don't know, about Tooth Fairy Barbie and how I started collecting with my mom. And it just means so much. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, how did you start your collecting and what was the doll that kicked it all off? Until next time, check out more stuff for me in the description below. I have TikTok, Instagram, so much stuff. Follow me. Why aren't you following me? Follow me. And let me know what your collecting is, your collecting story. This is so much. I honestly might do more story times. This is a lot of fun. Until next time, bye.